And let me share in my screen. This class will be fast, okay? We will not finish the chapter 11 today. That's intentional. I don't want you to get into too much. So let's see. People are arriving. So please don't fall asleep, okay? Please. And on the contrary, try to enjoy it. It's enjoyable. Even if you don't believe this, it's enjoyable. So, chapter 11. For those who just arrived, remember, I just said that you will get the announcements at the end of the class. It's just for those bold enough to tolerate my ugly voice. So, chapter 11, pricing. How much money you want to charge for something you are selling. Easy peasy. You need money. You want money. So, a very important clarification now. You want, let's assume that is not your business, okay? Let's assume this is the business. Somebody else hired you to do some specific job, some specific work. So your aspirations in life is to have a career as an employee somewhere, right? So you want your boss to be happy. To have your boss to be happy, you have to have your customers to be happy. You have to have happy customers. To do that, they have to exchange with you something that they perceive as a very high value as compared to what they paid for it. Straightforward, right? So you want to get the money. I'm not talking about the prices. I'm not talking about the exchanges. That something exchange of hands, a product or service, an experience changes of hands. No, you want the money. That's it. You want the money. And you want the money not to give it to the owners. Listen very well this. The money is not for the investors. The investors don't get the money. Okay, sounds crazy? Probably it's not that crazy. This is how it works. If you want to have to share whatever money you get with the owners, you issue a dividend. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want them to get the money, because you don't want that, actually it's not, is if you are the CEO of a corporation, you don't want to give them money, cash. You don't want them to have cash. You want them to have stock value. So you start earning money, a lot of money, and you put it in a bucket. And that bucket includes banking accounts, receivables, investments in third corporations, and profitable financial projects, investment projects. So if you are producing something, for example, if you are producing credit cards, so you want to charge for that. It's a project in the bank by itself, okay? It's a strategic business unit by itself. That's an investment project. And that investment project will have associated a profit center and a cost center, such a way that if you are the bank and you are producing this stupid plastics, by itself, the strategic business unit is profitable. And you don't want those profits to go to the pockets of the investors. No, you want to conserve them to open new investments, such a way that that company itself is nurturing, is growing by itself. So the stock price shows or reflects all the profitable investments that will happen in the future. That's the reason when you want to buy a stock, it's expensive. It's quite expensive. Well, it depends on the investment, on the stock you are buying. But when you are the investor, the way to make the money, Jeff Bezos, how he will how he does money is not by the you know uh, by the pair of shoes you bought from him by in Amazon. It's not that the way. The way is by selling some of his stock. So the stock for him probably was worth $1 when he got it, and today is $2,000. So he just sells a few hundreds or thousands of his stock. He has many millions, some few, and he realizes the profits. Okay, so put this into your minds. The money that is making today Amazon is not going directly to the pockets of Jeff Bezos. Is capitalizing the stock market value of Amazon. And Jeff Bezos has a lot of those property titles, like thousands and thousands of those property titles. He needs money. He just sells in the secondary market few of them, and he gets the money. Okay, that is the way it works. I don't want to talk about politics, but the stock market, the price will vary depending on how the people, the investors, perceive your company, how they are doing, how well they are doing. Okay, I shouldn't say this, but I will say it. Trump declared that he was healthy thanks for he was healed by this specific drug that the doctors gave him. If you followed those news, next day, one of the managers in that specific company that produces that specific drug could realize a profit of 1 million because he could sell his stock like that. And when people perceive you have a very high value, is your moment. Just get rid of the stock. You will have more money. Now invest in HP or invest in Ford, invest somewhere else, Nestle. You see, if somehow the perception that you are going to make a lot of money in your company arises, sell the stock. Sell the stock, realize the profits, and invest somewhere else. That doesn't mean that the cash flow from that company is actually going to the pockets of the investors. Everything is about appearances. Everything is a guess, as I told you at the beginning of the semester. Let's go to the chapter. So you will charge something of money for whatever you are going to sell. And you want to give in the financial statements a very good image. You want to have healthy financial statements, because if you do that, the perception of your corporation will be good, such a way that your stock price will increase. Okay, that's the way it works. Now, let's go very fast to talk about prices. So, we will talk about how to settle a price, which price strategies you have at hand. Well, they will be just, I will tell you very fast which these are. Of course, it will depend on the situation when you will apply one or the other. So now, market scheming pricing. You have been producing the Apple Watch for a while, and now you have the new launch. I think it's the Apple Watch 6. And because it's new, kind of very new thing, you will charge an overprice. Okay, if you check the prices of the Apple Watch, you will see that they are going down, 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 down. That happens as well with the computers, and it's not because they don't work anymore. It's because they use a market scheming pricing strategy, where because it's the new model, they give you an overprice, and they sustain the overprice up to the time they start decreasing and decreasing and decreasing and decreasing the price. So sometimes to be an early adopter is not that smart, that convenient, because eventually, of course, you know, the market will catch up with you. Now there is a double game. It's a double strategy. The producer is selling to you expensive the Apple Watch, the last one. You want to buy it, probably because either because you love the technology and you actually are an early adopter, or probably because you want to show off. You want to. The Apple Watch helps you to produce an alter ego, such a way that if you are working in business and you want to close a couple of business, you accidentally let your potential customer, to see your new Apple Watch. If your customer, let's assume you're a lawyer, and you want to sell a advising to a company established here in Laramie. So you accidentally let the customer, the manager of the company, to see your Apple Watch. And probably he will ask you, hey, you have the new Apple Watch? Yeah. And this does that and that and that and this and this and that. These are the technological advantages. So you will project an image of somebody who's on top of things, who's successful, who's active. So it will help you to sell something else. That's the reason of the expensive cars, expensive suits, expensive ties, expensive purses. I would recommend you very strongly to all of you, either if possible, especially to the girls, buy one very expensive purse. It doesn't have to be new, something with a shiny brand. Kate Spade is acceptable, or there is another brand that many people hate, but I don't think it's a bad brand. It's like the competitor of Kate Spade. I don't remember now. A nice purse. If you can buy a Louis Vuitton, it's good. But something that you will, when you go out of college, you start selling yourself, your personal services as a professional, you accidentally bring with you. So you can, it, you know, give the image of somebody mature and successful, ambitious, humble, yet don't buy the person with much bling bling because it's going to be ridiculous. So something moderated. Keep it with you somewhere in wherever you live. When you go to these meetings, bring it with you. It's very important because you are establishing your own price. Okay, let's continue. Now, you have a line of products. You can establish the price based on that line of products. For example, if you are selling soap and you have a line of different soap to wash the body with different smells or textures or even chemistry, well, that's the product line pricing. So depending on the characteristics of your line, you will establish based on that line the pricing. Going back to the example I gave you of Renault, in Renault or in Toyota, you have the Camry, you have the Corolla, you have the different lines. So based on the line of products, you establish the prices. And of course, you have to be very careful not cannibalize yourself. That means when one of your marketing offering is stealing customers from another of your marketing offerings. So probably the most expensive Corolla is cannibalizing the customers from the cheapest of the Camrys. So you have to be very careful there to establish the difference. So now let me go here. Yes. Optional pricing. That brings me to the optional product pricing. And remember, I told you in the same line of products, you can have the cheap version and the expensive version. So depending on which the version is, you establish a lower or a higher price. It's very easy. Now, captive product pricing. You sell the Xbox, the PlayStation, if you are smart, at cost or even below cost. So if you can sell the new PlayStation in probably 280, oh, it would be a nice price, isn't it? But once the person buys the console, there is no other option, no Gear of Wars for the new PlayStation owner, because that is a brand owned by Xbox. So you want the customer to be married with you. So you figure out a way to produce a very attractive marketing offering, and all the accessories that go with that marketing offering are only brand. They are proprietary to the brand. A very good example of that is from 1953, 1954. In that year, Nikon produced his very famous camera. It's a camera. And they said, instead of, screwing the lens to the right, you screw the lens to the left. So Pentax, Olympus, Yashica in that moment, Canon, they couldn't cannibalize anything from them because their marketing offering for the accessories was unique. And they were very smart because the body of the camera only accepted the lenses that entered twisted on the other side, counterclockwise. And they started producing the best lenses of the history of the photography. So it was very interesting because Canon users wanted to use those lenses, but they couldn't. So what they did, they sold all their equipment and went for Nikon. That's an interesting thing. But this is the captive product pricing. So you sell very cheap the platform, and after that, the games for PlayStation, you charge, you start charging. Eventually, the Metal Gears series, that they are so famous on PlayStation, they were really a big time success. They will come back. So only if you have a PlayStation, you will be able to play it, and that's a very important. But that's a very interesting way to do things. If you are planning, if you can engage the customer, that's a good way to do it. Now, buy products. Buy products is you produce something, and on your way of producing that thing, you can produce something else. So in this example, you have fruits. The fruits, when they produce, the juice, they also have to get rid of the seeds. But if you collect the seeds, you can produce oil. So many fruit producers, the watermelon producers, for example, they sell the the middleman the watermelons, but when they are meant to be industrialized, they have a different pricing because they are selling the watermelon and the seeds, and they know the producer will produce the juice or the water or the flavor and the oil. So that's interesting. This is just the reference of a research article. It's around in Google Scholar. So now, price adjustments. Those were how much price you ask for something. But sometimes, most of the times, they will not pay to you what you are looking for. So now you have to adjust the price. But the adjustment of prices shouldn't be given for free. I don't know how to explain this. It's like you don't show affection for free. Okay? You impose a price, you make the counterpart pay a price as well, and so you are eager to show appreciation. You discount the price, you lower the price. So how are you going to lower the price? You have discounts and allowances, you have this segmented pricing, psychological, promotional, geographical, dynamic, personalized, and international pricing. You have those options. How to reduce the price. Remember, you reduce the price if the demand is elastic or has the tendency to be elastic somehow. You will increase the number of units sold in your market very fast. Not this one. Discount is different to allowance. Okay, discount different to allowance. In discount, it's very common that they will tell you 210 net 30. Very common. That means if you pay it, and this happen, these kind of signals happen very frequently in B2B. The supplier will tell the customer, you know what, our conditions are 210 net 30. That means 2% of discount if you pay in less than 10 days. If you don't pay in less than 10 days, you have up to day 30, around a month, to pay me all the amount. Okay, that's a very nice hook because people want to play with their cash. You want your customers to pay you fast, but you want pay to your suppliers very slowly, because the difference creates a financial gain for you in your advantage. Remember that. Pay very slowly, recover fast. And a way to recover fast is this type of promotions. Now, allowances. Allowances is, okay, give me your old computer. I will give you a bonification, an allowance, and you will be able to buy a new one. So it's not specifically discount, it's an allowance. If you give something as a customer on exchange of the thing to have a price reduction. Sometimes there are promotional allowances. This is very important. You differentiate them always. Okay, discount comes from the pocket of the supplier directly. An allowance is an acceptance from the customer. Those are two different things. And in accounting, they go to two different places. So watch out with that. Now, in the exam, I will not ask you that, but you have to know that those are two different things. Now, segmented pricing. You depending on the neighborhood where the person is living, you charge more or you charge less. Easy peasy. Now you have segmented pricing. Remember, you have to have your segments, and your segments have to have they are supposed to have certain characteristics that comes in the exam. Remember, I think I have to check that, but I think it comes in the exam. Why, how you segment, and which are the criteria, 3 or 4 criteria to establish a segment. And so you can either segment your customers by region, by uses. Yeah, you use your customer-based segmentation to place the pricing. The pharmaceutical companies, you might not know this, but pharmaceutical companies, when you go to the HMO or to the hospital, whatever, depending on your insurance, they charge depending on the vaccination, but they charge up to $300 for one shot of that vaccine. That same vaccine in Europe, the medical health systems pay for that exactly same vaccine $10. So the pharmaceutical industry really knows to whom charge much more, and they do it. In the US, specifically in the US, all the medicine in general, all the drugs are extremely outrageously priced as compared with Europe, with Canada, with Japan, with Asia, with Latin America, with Africa. Okay. So give me one moment, please. You have the customer base, or you can, based on the products, you can differentiate the pricing. Sometimes you produce the earphones. Some of you love those earphones, especially if they cancel noise. If you look at the prices in the UK, in Canada, and the US, you will be surprised. The prices differ a lot. And all of them are coming from China. And the import tax doesn't account for the price changes. And that comes also to the location-based pricing. It will depend. When you buy from in Canada or in the US, most of the time the most luxury product, because of just a little feature somewhere, it will be sold in the US. So the price is different because the product, everybody will tell you this is a better product, which is actually is the same. Just a silly part, it's coming with a different color. Well, yes, now they charge you differently and based on the location. And there is no argument to charge more the US customers as compared to the Canadian customers, because bringing all the, the products and services to Canada is more difficult. Is is far away. Nonetheless, they charge less. And time-based pricing, depending on the season. Now is coming, Black Friday, so prices will change. Of course, you have to be very smart on that. Just remember, this is coming also in the other chapter of segmentation. The market must be segmentable. Remember, the segment has to be of enough size, profitable, sustainable. That segment must show different degrees of demand as compared to other segments. And whatever you do in that segment cannot exceed your additional cost, because when you are going to a specific segment, many times you will pay more. The cost will increase, not the cost, the expenses. For example, the delivery expenses will increase. And so you have to account for that, like additional expense, and make sure that whatever you are trying to do now with that marketing offering you are bringing to the market is profitable. Of course, must be legal. It's kind of very obvious. Must be legal. I'm sorry. So now you have psychological pricing. It's style life. Which one is your style life? So it's not the same as I told you one day. Producing one polo shirt sold by Banana Republic, it's exactly the same as that one produced by Ralph Lauren. Same thing. Both of them produced by their outsources in Haiti, and they charge in Haiti the cost for produce those polo shirts is less than $1. In Banana Republic, they will try to sell it to you in $30 minus some discounts, reductions, because whatever, 24. And the Ralph Lauren will cost you $90 plus discounts, minus discounts, whatever, $87. And the cost for both of them was less than $1. But the psychological effect is different. If some of you get some Ralph Lauren t-shirt or t-shirts or clothes, I don't think you are using that daily. You use the Levi's or the Banana Republic. Okay. Promotional pricing is for when you have special events. Remember, today is Prime Day in Amazon, so that's an example. Those will always be limited time offers, and that's the reason when you go to Amazon, you will see that you have 24 hours. Now you have 23 hours, 22 hours. They are pushing you with a very old sales strategy, which is the product is running out of units. So that's the reason you are pushed to buy it now. So that strategy of sales. You have cash rebates. You can get the rain checks. You can, as a customer, you can get money, or you think you can get money. Nonetheless, you don't realize you already paid for that money, and the supplier or the company already got the money they were looking for. Now, another option is low interest financing. It's very common for several corporations that they will offer you on uncomfortable payments. However, watch out with that, especially if you are using, if you guys or your parents or your guardians or your friends, if they are using Western Union, I believe that went into, I published something with a professor here, and when it was published in Germany, and we put the example of Western Union as an example of unethical practices. Probably you have a credit card and you don't know it, and probably your credit card, your credit card from Western Union that you don't know it exists, is producing and producing interest that you eventually will have to pay. They got with this brilliant idea of scamming older customers uh, 3 or 4 years ago, and there are many problems today because of those cards. That's the reason you should go to the to check your credit history. Check your credit history to know that to verify that you are not a customer of Western Union with a credit card you never got. But the thing is, besides that ethical dilemma, is there is another way. You tell your customer, okay, you will pay full price, and I will give you 12 months, no interest. And you can do that if you're making business in eBay. You you can do it with several credit suppliers of credit. They sell credit, like PayPal. PayPal sells credit. So PayPal will pay the supplier, the corporation, on the name of the customer, and will charge the customer for that money that the customer borrowed from PayPal. And in the process, PayPal will charge some interest. And if they are telling you, I'm not going to charge you the interest for 6 months, pay with PayPal. Well, watch out with the 7 month, because if you didn't finish that balance, you erase that balance on the 7th month, they will charge you the interest since the beginning, and it will be very expensive. And that's actually their main business. They bet against the good memory of the people. People tend to forget those debts, and they incur in a lot of interest. Now, geographical pricing. We are going to stop like in slide 25, so don't worry. In this case, you have how do you rate the prices you pay to someone? Free on board origin. That means I will sell to you whatever a car, but I will deliver your car, the car you are paying for, in my dealership. Okay, especially here in Laramie, there are many models you can find here. If you want to buy, for example, a Fiat from Chrysler, well, you can't buy a Fiat here. So you go somewhere else. Probably you will go to Denver, and in Denver, the dealer will tell you it's free on board, free on board dealership. That means I will give it to you in the dealership, and you do whatever you please. It's not my problem anymore. Now, you also have uniform delivered pricing when all of the deliveries have the same price. Okay, that happens a lot with the clothing companies that will they will charge you the same price. If you are buying something from the UK, most of the time they will charge you the same price. Some pricing is when you let me go directly here. Let me, one moment, please. I just modified these things and they are not there. Okay, some pricing is the taxis. When you take the taxi of the airport, and they ask you, where are you going? And you tell the neighborhood you are going, they change the price based on the distance. Easy peasy. Now, let me see. Well, I will continue here. Sometimes you have to make something called concentration of product. It's a mistake. It's essential. It's a mistake. And Procter and Gamble did it for some years. Concentration of product. So if they wanted to deliver to Wyoming, everything would go to Casper. Everything Casper. And from there, now you deliver to the stores. Well, it's crazy. It's too far. It's too far. When you, they still do that. When you send something by UPS from Laramie, check the delivery. It's crazy. If it's going to Ohio, to Utah, it will go from Laramie to Casper, from Casper to Rollins, from Rollins to Utah. And you think, what the hell are you doing? Just take the 80, go to the west, and you arrive to Utah. Sissy, why you go that way? You are increasing 10 hours the trip of the thing. Well, that's the way they do it. And based on that logistic that is already established, UPS charge your delivery, and sometimes it's more expensive. Okay, freight absorption pricing. This is the best for everything. Just charge your customer for the delivery and don't tell them. That's difficult because somebody has to pay for the thing, right? So Amazon forces their suppliers to have product in their own warehouses. And so sometimes Amazon will say, well, we just sold another computer. I have it. You supplier, you Dell Corporation, you have it as well. So which one is closest? If you Dell in Austin, you are closest to the customer in Oklahoma City, you will deliver it. So probably Dell will say, you are forcing me to have inventory. My cost is going up. And Amazon say, they will say, you know what, you don't want to sell through Amazon? Go away. Look other way. That's the reason already the Senate has signaled Amazon as a monopolistic corporation, and they will cut it. Eventually, we will learn that Amazon was transformed in probably 5 Amazons. We don't know. It will happen. It's already decided that. Dynamic pricing is when you are selling something and they want the thing customized. Some years ago, some years ago, the Brazilian government did something that most of the governments don't think about, which was, okay, we have money. What about if we take that money, we take 1,000 of the best students of engineering in Brazil, and we send them outside to the best universities of the world. And they said, okay, that's not new, let's do it. And they said, I don't remember, it was more than 1,000 of their best graduate students of engineering to the best universities of the world. 5 years later, they brought them back and they told them, okay, we invested in you. Now you are good. You are coming from Oxford, from University of Chicago. You are good, coming from good universities. Now, here you have 5 billion bucks. Decide what you are going to do with that money. And they created Embraer. Embraer is a jets company. You have Boeing building the, the planes where you go to Hawaii. You can go now to Hawaii. Or you have the European counterpart also producing planes. Uh, Airbus. Those two produce large planes. What about the small planes? If you have if you have fallen into the disgrace of traveling by plane from Laramie to anywhere else, which I have that experience, always they will put you inside of a very small plane, very, very small plane, not 100 and something passengers, small plane, probably 30 passengers. Those are the planes of Embraer and Bombardier. Bombardier is used to be Canadian. It was sold to Boeing, but that was a different market for these small flights, short flights, and this is a good example of dynamic pricing, because if you want a private jet, you go to Brazil and you tell the guys from Embraer, you know what, I'm very rich, I want to have my own private jet, and they will customize for you one of their marketing offerings. And it is very good. Probably you have already traveled in one Embraer and you just don't know it. International pricing is just, remember, consider the import taxes, because not all the imports are for free. You have to pay the ad valorem. Ad valorem means whatever you are bringing. Now you are in San Diego in a ship and you want to bring into the US the merchandising, okay? How much is there? Tell me the price. And that's the ad valorem. The ad valorem is kind of not the price, your cost, how much it was, the total thing, including freight, including everything. How much was it? That's the ad valorem. From there, they will charge, the American government will charge you a tax, a percentage. To pay that tax, now your product can enter into the US. So you have now a new cost base to calculate your price. So be aware of that. And today we will stop here. Finally. Okay, it was better. Not that better, but better. Not that good, but better. Now, announcements. I haven't updated the syllabus because, let me stop the recording. Stop recording.